What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for It Chapter 2. Just got back from the theater. My god, I have to say first off, this movie was fucking fantastic. But without a doubt, this movie shits all over the original. If you love the first one, you definitely need to go check this movie out. This is honestly bad. If you guys saw my top 10 horror movie list, that It Chapter 1 was number 10 on my list. This movie will replace that as number 10 because my god, this movie was just absolutely fantastic. One of the greatest horror movies I've ever seen. The scares were great. The plot, the acting, all of this movie was and the music was fantastic. This movie was just all around phenomenal across the board. But before I get into this movie, give you guys my proper review, and I tell you all about what was great with the movie, what I didn't like, because there was a couple things. But I need to rant a little bit about motherfuckers in the movie theater and their lack for common courtesy. Because I'm a little pissed off, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, am I a little pissed. So I went to go see it. I went by myself. My mom and my brother didn't feel like going, which, whatever. But when I got in the theater, behind me, first off, there was kids actually in the theater, which was weird because this is an R-rated horror film. Don't know why you're bringing your kids here. You want to traumatize the poor fuckers? But what pissed me off wasn't the fact that there were kids there, because that isn't completely terrible. But there was this one little shit who looked to be about 6, 7, 8 years old. Now you might be saying, Glenn, come on, you being a little too harsh on this kid. Well, I have every right to be this hard because it's the parents' job to not bring them to the theater. Which, first off, I gotta say, none of the kids were actually scared throughout the film. Like, I didn't hear any of them scream out or they'd be like, "Mommy, I'm scared." None of that shit, which was kind of weird. But hey, at least I didn't hear crying. That was it was bad. At least I didn't get that. But one of these motherfuckers would not shut the fuck up throughout the movie. He always felt the need to throw in some little commentary in there. And I'm pretty sure I even heard mom say, "Shut the fuck up," which I was like, whoa, you should be squared, kid. I could have very easily misheard, but look like she was just about pissed off as I was. But I gotta say, in the last 10, 15 minutes of this movie, this kid wouldn't shut the fuck up. Oh my fucking god, he would not shut up, and it was goddamn fucking infuriating. This kiddo was like messing around his chair. I heard him like messing around rappers, making noise. The kid just wouldn't shut the fuck up, and I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. When the movie, I was just glad I was in just so I can get the fuck out of there. Because good fucking god, this kid wouldn't shut up. Now his commentary about the rest of the film wasn't that bad. He would, maybe throw a little thing, but it never bothered me. But when, the last, 51, the kid just went, shut the fuck up. Oh my god, it was infuriating. The kid, like I mentioned before, he looked like to be about 6, 7 years old. Why the fuck are you bringing an 8-year-old to an R-rated horror film? Why? Somebody, please enlighten me. Explain yourself. Somebody, just please tell me why the fuck you would bring your little kid to an R-rated horror film. I get it for kids movies. I gotta deal with that bullshit. I hate it, and it's one of the main things I dread whenever I watch a Disney film. Is the little kids. Thankfully, I've never really had any big issues with little kids in the movie theater. But here, it's an R-rated horror film. I'm supposed to be here with fucking adults, that actually give a shit about film and want to. And one thing that I hate about this is I'm the type of guy, when I watch a film in the theater, I want to be immersed. I want to enjoy myself in the film, which means shut the fuck up while the movie's playing. So, this little kid, now granted, he never took me on screen. It wasn't as bad as Spider-Verse. You guys know I was a little pissed off when I saw Spider-Verse because it was this little kid that would not shut up, that wouldn't shut up throughout the most pivotal moments of the film, and I hated it, and it kind of messed with my experience a little bit. Thank God I went to see it a second time, which was so much better than. But this little kid, oh, it was a fear. Now, and there was also this other grown-ass woman that brought a fucking toy baby doll with her, too, for some reason, which went off a couple times in the movie. That was kind of annoying, but it never really took me out of serious. That little kid, Jesus fucking Christ. Why are parents this fucking incompetent? Do they not have common courtesy? We do not want to hear your little shit of a child cry, talk. I'm here to enjoy myself in the theater. I want you to be immersed in the film. And I can't really do that when your kid won't shut up. Oh, God. Sorry. Okay. Rant over. Sorry, guys. That just really fucking infuriated me, and I just had to let this out. Because, god damn it, I fucking hate it when people do this. Don't bring your kids to R-rated horror films. Why would you even do that? Do you want to traumatize the poor? Like, Jesus Christ, like, ugh. Sorry, that just really fucking pissed me off. You guys know I'm a big film guy. I'm a massive passion for film. And I hate it when people don't have fucking common courtesy and won't shut the fuck up throughout the movie. You know, I fucking hate this. I don't even know why you're bringing a baby doll with you to it. Or at the very least, you won't turn the fucking thing off. But, whatever. You know, one last thing before I just jump right in and give you the plot synopsis, who's directing, act, all that stuff. One thing, like, in the start of the movie, this isn't a spoiler. In the start of the movie, we actually had this scene where there's two guys kissing, you know, two gay dudes kissing. People were legit groaning in the theater. It was the funniest shit ever. Like, they're like, ugh. I was like, that caught me off guard. Now, granted, Ridgecrest here, where I live, Ridgecrest, it's a very conservative part of California. So, I don't know if that was all the conservative, like, oh, great, or it says about people like, oh, great, SJW rhetoric, seeping their way to Harvard. I don't know what the case may be. I just thought that was a little funny thing that I felt to share with you guys. Anyway, enough of me ranting. Let's just jump right into the actual review itself. So, the movie is directed by Andrea Muschietti. Yeah, and stars Jessica Chastain, Bill Hader, James McAvoy, Bill Skarsgård, Jay Ryan, James Ramson, Isaiah Mufasa. Holy shit, that's the Old Spice guy. Oh my god, I did not even notice that. That is fucking weird, man. And many more. And the plot of it, Chapter 2, it takes place 27 years after the event of the first film. Pennywise's return, and of course, Michael comes in there, contacts everybody to return to Derry to finish up what they started at the end of the first movie and take care of Pennywise. So, yeah. What did I love about this movie? The cast, without a doubt. The cast was fucking fantastic. James McAvoy was fantastic, which I knew that was going to be. Jessica Chastain's fantastic, but the highlight I would definitely say was Bill Hader as Richie. Now, not for the same reasons why Richie, William, or whoever plays Kid Richie in the first film. It was not the same reasons as why he was highlighted. Richie was the highlight in the first film because of his goddamn comedy, his humor. Which, funny enough, we see him as a comedian, which perfectly fit. You know, the man would just constantly he stole the show with just all his jokes and everything. It was just fucking hilarious. Here, it's his fucking acting. The man, but Richie has probably some of the best scenes where you really get to see a lot of crazy shit happens with Richie, and my god, Bill absolutely knocked out of the park. I won't go into details for spoiler reasons, but my god, he was without a doubt the highlight of the film. James McAvoy was great, as well as Bill Skarsgård, who plays Pennywise. My god, was he great. The man was like, there's so many creepy shit with Pennywise, man. It was fucking fantastic, man. Another thing I gotta say, the scares were great. They're hella creepy, man. I wasn't legit scared by any of this creep, but my god, were they creepy? There was there were so many times where I'm like at the edge of my seat because the movie has such great use of tension, anticipation, where I'm just like, oh fuck. Like when we see like there's this one scene where like there's a balloon and I'm just sinking in my chair, like fuck, come on, just goddamn it! Like everybody's like shit, come on, fuck, just like I'm just like, Pennywise is right behind that, and there's also the creep shit like where. Y'all saw in the trailers with the old lady? Yeah, that was some freaky shit. That was some freaky shit there, ladies and gentlemen. The stuff with James McAvoy was in the Hall of Mirrors. That was great, man. That was fantastic. The kills are fantastic, nice and bloody, just how I like it. Pennywise is creepy as hell. The whole finale when they take down Pennywise was absolutely fantastic, man. I loved it. I don't know if it was as satisfying as the first, because this one was hella satisfying what they're doing and how they managed to finally defeat Pennywise. It was satisfying, but I don't think it was as sad first time when they were like just beating the shit out of him with like random weapons, you know, in the first film. It's kind of about 50-50 with me with that one. Another thing I loved about this movie was I already mentioned the music. The music was great. I love the way how they also put in scenes, add scenes from back with the kids, which is the main reason why I think this movie is better, because it puts the scenes with the kids in there as well. Because the one thing that the first one did absolutely so well was the kids, their characters, the arcs they went through. It was fantastic. I loved how they did that, man. Now apparently they actually use CGI because these are kids. They're around that age when they're like about 2 years later. They look damn near like completely different people. So apparently they actually use a lot of I didn't actually notice it all. I legit thought they filmed these like around the same time they were filming It Chapter 1. I legit thought that because and apparently they also use some ADR work on the kid that plays Richie, because his voice is goddamn, because these kids probably hit puberty by now. I actually didn't notice anything. It all just looked the same. I legit thought they just filmed these at the same time they were filming in Chapter 1, it legit did not bother me. I know it bothered Chris Stubman, but if you didn't tell me that it was CGI, that they didn't use CGI and ADR work to change their voices and de-age the characters, I would not have guessed. I would have thought they just filmed these scenes when they were filming it Chapter 1. So we gotta get props to the CGI work for this movie as well. One other thing I gotta say I loved about the movie, I loved how we see the way the kids are and how some of them really haven't changed. Like Beverly, you guys know about Beverly. She had an abusive relationship with her father and everything, but here she actually ended up marrying a guy that was also abusive, which I thought was cool. And I think his name was William, or not William. What was his name? The kid that's that's scared, that's like a huge germaphobe. I forget his name, but the man ended up marrying somebody who was just like his mom, fat, constantly worrying about him, and he calls her mommy at one point in the beginning of the film. It was like, and one of the biggest things I loved about this movie that just shocked me was this movie is fucking hilarious, man. Like, it's not even from Richie, because Richie in this movie, I will say he's not as funny as he was in the first one, but only because he isn't throwing as many jokes around, which makes sense. He's not a kid anymore, constantly be like, I fucked your mom and other shit. Like, Richie was so fucking hilarious in the first film. He's not as funny in here, but he makes it up with the acting. But the jokes were just great all around, man, and it was just a really Eddie was his name. Eddie is the guy that is Eddie. Like that was great, man. I like how they show how none of them have really changed. There's also something great to kind of like there's this running joke about how Bill can't finish a book because he became a novelist. If you guys are wondering like how this movie is different from like the miniseries, I haven't read the book. This is so much better than the miniseries. My God, like I thought the miniseries was like okay at best, and just not that great at the worst part, which was like the second half when they were adults. I wasn't a fan of that. So like when they were kids, it wasn't the greatest, but it was okay. This movie is just so much better. The scares are so much better. The tension and everything is just, this movie is just so much better across the board. And when they have to take down Pennywise, it was just so unbelievable. This movie just completely, like these two movies, honestly, completely shit on the miniseries from the 90s, man. It's ridiculous how much they shit on them. So yeah, the comedy was absolutely fantastic, man, and this movie was just so great, man. Like the scares were so good, the CGI, and man, there's so much creepy shit in this movie, man. It was fantastic, man. I absolutely loved it. I probably would have gotten a little bit more enjoyment if there wasn't some fucking 8-year-olds that wouldn't shut up. But I digress. You guys already ranted and raved long enough. So let me get into some of my negatives I have with them because I did now. My biggest one, is one, I would definitely say the characters are not as strong, like their adult selves are not as strong as when they were kids. It's just because, like, with the first one, that was all about them, really getting to know these kids and where you get attached, and that was happening without the whole thing, because which is why I kind of like really dug Beverly, because I swear to God, I relate so much with Ben and Beverly, because there's like legit high school. There was this girl I knew in my first year of high, that was a lot like Beverly, where she was even a redhead, had short hair too, which was even funnier. Where it was a lot similar. She kind of ended up having a huge impression on me, which is why I'm swearing constantly, and she was the catalyst for my zero fucks given personality that I now. It all came from her, But that was just one thing that the movie did so great. It was a great character movie, and great character study just about these kids. The characters are not as strong here. Now the acting, they make up with their acting, but the writing overall for how they are as adults isn't as strong. And I like that but definitely when they brought the scenes in with the kids, it really made up for that, in my personal opinion. That's what elevated me so much, because they added both these scenes in. They had a mixture, how they managed to interwove the scenes from when they were adults to when they were kids, because that was definitely some of the best parts were those new scenes that were added when we see them as kids. It looked absolutely fantastic. That was some of the best parts of the film, if you ask me, as well as the stuff with Pennywise. The kills were great, and the tension was just fantastic. Man, this was without, like I mentioned before, without one of the greatest horror movies I've ever seen, man. Like legit, you hate horror if you don't see this movie, man. Anyway, so that was fantastic, man. Now let me get into my negatives. My negative with now I already mentioned one of them was how the characters were not as strong as they were in the first film. Just how they are adults were not as strong as when they were kids. But the second one is definitely from the Blake movie. Now, this movie is about 2 hours and 50 minutes, which shocked me when I saw the runtime, because I was like, because this is damn near a 3-hour movie. And I won't lie, there are so there are some issues with the pace. Like there are scenes that kind of are a little bit slower than they probably should have been, but it's not anything bad. Like I think Endgame did an overall a little bit better job. But this movie, like it wasn't like Exodus God King with the set where I'm just constantly checking my phone in the middle of the movie. I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, Andor, because I mentioned the review, but Exodus Gods and Kings, my God. Did that movie fucking drag in the middle. The middle of that movie just drag. God, I did not like to sit in the middle of Exodus Gods and Kings, man. It's not as bad as Exodus Gods. I wasn't constantly checking my watch, man. But there were definitely a couple scenes that kind of lagged a little bit, that were a little bit too slow. But that's really about it. So yeah. Like I mentioned before, the comedy was great, the acting was fantastic, man. Just overall, this movie was without a doubt fucking fantastic. Without a doubt, one of the greatest horror movies I've seen this year, as well as one of the greatest horror movies I've seen, period. Now, I know I mentioned now, which this is definitely going to be on my top 10 list for this year, which, oh, by the way, my top 10 list for last year is finally up. If you guys want to check that video out, go check it out. It's for any of you guys that actually still give a shit about that. But I will definitely say that this, I don't know which, now I mentioned before in that video that 2018 was the year of horror freakouts. We got Halloween, because we got the Halloween, Hereditary, as well as Quiet Place. What else came there? There was a Bird Box that was great, as well as I guess would Annihilation count as horror? Probably not. It's more sci-fi. But yeah, I don't know about this year. This year we've been pretty good. We had this. There was this, Us, which was fantastic. I still have yet to see Pet Sematary and Midsummer, which when I see those, then I think I'll probably be able to better gauge which one was like the true year of horror. Because last year we had amazing horror movies, but this year we've also had some amazing horror movies. So I don't know. It's definitely gonna be potential for these two, but overall, yeah, this movie was just fantastic, man. I absolutely love this movie. So yeah, I highly, if you guys are someone that loved the first film, definitely check this out. It's without a doubt fantastic. If you were someone who did like the first one, I know a lot of people said this isn't as good as the first one. I can kind of see what they're going at. I see where they're coming from now, but me personally, I thought this movie was a lot better than the first one. So, take that into consideration. If you're someone that didn't really like the first one, I don't think this movie's really going to change your mind. But yeah, so overall, I give this movie a 10 out of 10, guys, without a doubt. Like I mentioned before, one of the greatest horror movies I've ever seen, man. This was just an absolute joy to watch. I just loved every second of it, man. So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, links down in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.